This is Finity with Delete reporting live from the underground in the bunker. We are underground, way under, or like way underground. If we look up, we still see the ground. That is how underground we are. Just throw. I mean, that's kind of the definition of
Underground.
underground. Yeah, kind of feel like it's self-explanatory, but sometimes you just have to explain to people what underground truly means because they don't understand. Yeah, they don't understand. Yes, Aerith, I am right on top. I am trying. We are. See, this is what happens. We miss McVenom. She's not here, so slowly the time gets adjusted accordingly. It's not the. I don't know. I miss McVenom.
I just texted her and saying hi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I texted her last week. Yeah, I was chatting with her last week, so yeah, I need to message her again. McVenom is alive, for those of you that are wondering. She is alive. She is fine. She's just busy. Hello, Bussa. And hi, Millsy. No worries. Glad to have you back. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Bunker Underground, where we go through the news and notes and just have fun with you guys regarding State of Survival. Now, if you're not familiar with State of Survival is The Bunker is a live stream focused on the game that is based on zombies. I was going to say it's kind of like a live action thing, but that's just Walking Dead, and it's really not. Yep. So State of Survival has something associated with Walking Dead. I kind of view The Walking Dead as kind of the live action State of Survival now.
Yes. And no.
We'll just call it the live act. We'll just call it that because
Has anyone downloaded the State of Survival actually, or the Walking Dead game that's basically State of Survival? Have you downloaded and played it at all?
I did. I downloaded it when it first came out. I played it. And it was similar except for vertical. For how much I played. Now, I didn't play it a lot. To be fair, I didn't play it all the way like a whole bunch. I played it at the beginning, and it felt like State of Survival except vertical instead of horizontal, which made it potentially easier to hide. Because when your phone is vertical, let's just take a look. When your phone is vertical, you assume that you're texting. Right? So maybe it's something business. Maybe you're taking some notes on a meeting. You don't know.
Writing an email.
Exactly, right? It feels like you are typing. However, turn it sideways. Why are you gaming on your...
immediate.
It's just immediate. Either you're gaming or you're taking a picture. It's just, and neither of those you should be doing in a meeting, because what happens in the meeting stays in the meeting, so you don't want any pictures. And then if you're just playing a game, then you're not paying attention to the meeting. So what happens in the meeting should actually stay with you in the meeting. So if you're not paying attention, then that's not good. If you're recording it for other people, that's also not good. So there is no good that comes out of a horizontal phone in any corporate meeting.
I have actually spent years selling into my boss that I type on my phone horizontally. Like, I've asked some questions while I'm typing to be like, what was the name of that person that... Oh, that's right. Oh, it's so much more comfortable typing like this. Oh, so many less mistakes. I don't have to erase anything anymore. I've spent years building that in. Purely for State of Survival, actually.
Exactly. Okay, so that is, see, we are solving problems. So for those of you, Aerith is saying totally agree, you can totally hide gaming. See, that is what it is. It's all about kind of misleading them long enough that they don't suspect it. So what you have to do is text them while your phone is horizontal. Eventually they will be like, oh, they are taking notes or they are texting. They won't put you into the stereotype because, just for reference, right? Stereotyping is called stereotyping because enough of a majority of people do exactly what is stereotyped that it fits with the group. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not 100%, but typically stereotypes are done are like, there's a reason for it to be a stereotype. It's because there are people within whatever group is being defined by a stereotype that kind of conduct themselves in the way that, a stereotype does. Like, for example, did you know my people have a very difficult time saying the letter V. If you talk to an Indian person, the letter V is not the easiest letter to come out. They will call things like a vase because they can't say vase, it's a waste. And violet.
Mm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. He is playing the violin. See, it doesn't have the V, right? And so it's a stereotype because it is true for a lot of person. I apologize to all the Indian.
It's all right. It happens.
It's true though, and you know it. You know it. It's just true. I mean, you just know it's true. Every Indian person has a relative that speaks English fine, but can't say the V. They just can't. I don't know what else to say. It's just true. I mean, I bring the truth, Delete. Whether or not you like it is a whole different thing, but I bring the truth to the conversation.
You know, I've never been the person to be like, I can't say that. Well, to an extent. I mean, I will agree. There are a lot of things that I have said in my life that I probably should have said a little bit differently. But at the same time, like when someone's like, oh yeah, you know, pronunciation wise, like, oh, I can't say that person's name. I've never been that person to do that. I'm like, oh, you know, like, how do you say it? Okay. You know, and like, so I got to just train myself really quick. Got it. You know, like, that, you know, I've never been the person that's been like, it's just impossible. But I can understand how it is possible to just break things that you do on a daily to go ahead and just completely change. So, not easy.
Eric B saying, I had no idea you were Indian. Yes, indeed I am. Mm-hmm. At least my heritage is. I've been in the U.S. from the beginning. I was born in Pittsburgh and raised in Florida. So I am basically Florida man, which doesn't put me above anything, just FYI. When you see Florida man XYZ, that 90% chance it was somehow related to me. I mean, I blame Finn as a thing for a reason. It's because I moved to Florida and then Florida man happened. I mean, it's not a coincidence, Delete. It's not. I have to take blame where blame is due, and I can say that there is a high likelihood that Florida man exists because of me. Just saying. we kind of go on tangents here. Buzzsaw, he's not Indian, he's a Jedi Consular. I am Jedi Consular Finn as well on the side, but that's a side hobby. That's just a side hobby. It doesn't. I mean, that's a separate thing altogether. Okay, let me say hi to everybody in chat. Aerith, we already shouted out Aerith. We shouted out Buzzsaw. We shouted out Millsy. We shouted out Eric B. We also shouted out Feminist Sexy Wolf, saying Thursday. It is. The bunker is on Thursdays now. That is our new time for the last few weeks. It is a continued time that we're going to have the bunker underground, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So glad to have you here, Feminist Sexy Wolf, one of our longtime viewers. As we are on episode 60 now, Delete. We've done 60 of these.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, now that this setup is all like complete, like we re-feng shuied the underground and everything, I am almost at the point where I'm going to start recording some videos. So we're going to hopefully have some State of Survival videos coming out for you soon as well. So be on the lookout for that. I have some modifications I have to kind of make to this layout, move a computer here or there, you know, drill a hole maybe here, and, you know, screw something over here, a little behind the monitor. You know, just little tweaks to make everything better. But I think soon we're going to have some videos for you guys too. So be on the lookout for that. However, we have some stuff to talk about today. So we're going to jump into it because there was an update in the game. It is 1.11.100, I think it was. And
yeah, the only one that doesn't have like 65 billion digits after.
I know, for now. For now, it doesn't. So we are going to talk about the update. Now, with the update, you guys should have gotten a mail. And I'm going to go into the system mail. And it came out earlier, 1.11.800. So here are what the updates were all about. So Dear Survivor, the patch notes of version 1.11.100 are as follows. The first one, finding Maddie. Maddie went after the thief who stole supplies from the settlement. Help Daryl and Sarge find Maddie and make sure she's safe. You can obtain gas cans from the Rose Nurturing Contest. Never ending infected gas station manager and precision shooting events. Participation in the events can earn great rewards. So it's another one of those do things and collect items and then work towards it, right? So that's fine. It's kind of a
Skin event.
It's a skin event, yeah. And it's actually a reskinned event too, right? It's the same kind of basic coding in the background. They just kind of change, instead of an ice cream man, it's a gas station manager, and then, same general concept. I'm fine with it. It's a nice little interactive event to kind of keep players engaged periodically. There's always an event going on pretty much in State of Survival, which I think is a good thing. I wish
Doesn't seem like this one's going to overlap with Survival of the Fittest, because they have for a while.
That's what I was. Yeah, I agree.
I thought that was better, to be quite honest with you. Two birds, one stone kind of thing.
It used to be 3. Don't forget, they used to have those like solo events for just like those 1 or 2 days that would overlap with the Survival of the Fittest phase. They've kind of like shifted it off now, so you kind of have to select most of the time. Although recently I have seen some overlap too, so I don't know if that's back. But they did shift it away for a while. Potentially they brought it back, but yeah, it's I wish they kept that more consistent. But I agree with you. It's I wish they did have more overlap with the events to kind of give double benefit. But I kind of understand their reasoning not to, right? If someone wants
financially it makes sense, to kind of have them. Yeah. Where you get the people that are just hoarding for the one event and just unleash when the events are overlapping. Mm-hmm. Kind of, I can see that. But Survival of the Fittest rewards, to the point where it's like, all right, well, you kind of don't need the hero, most people, or at least the top players don't need the hero anymore. Yeah. They've already maxed them out. Mm-hmm. So, the Survival of the Fittest rewards, I guess, trickle down, because it's not like I'm hunting after them. You do have to do them for the Yith event. So this way you can kind of get the glory there, but meh.
Yep.
Very meh.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. Then the next thing is the surprise crate. So it says, during the event, you can use prize tickets obtained from the homepage of the State of Survival Anniversary event to draw supply crates. You can also get prize tickets by completing daily tasks during the event. The supply crates contain rich rewards and a chance to win grand prizes. Good luck. So we're familiar with that. That's kind of the standard tickets. And then the first one is 1, then 2, then 4, then whatever, all the way up to like 276 per opening. And then you have to reset it. And then you need another 5,000 in order to, it's just, we're familiar with this one. Again, nice way of just giving out some free stuff, right? It's not anything in particular. The value is pretty good usually with the tickets if you're a spender, because you can make a good amount, especially if you hit a multiplier earlier. So again, nice little addition. Then the next thing, and this is where the first little kind of question mark comes in. Kindle the Light of Survivors, exclusive to new states. The end has come and the infected rampage. We need to pick the best settlements to rekindle the survivors' faith and to illuminate our dark world. During the event, improve your settlement's power to get rich rewards, including Furious Fire HQ skin, Glory of Survivors frame skin, Light of the Survivors frame skin, and other rewards exclusive to new states. Note, to ensure fairness in the event, players who migrated to the state will not be able to receive the state exclusive rewards, including Glory of Survivors and Light of Survivors. So
that's a big FU to old states. Mm-hmm. It just is. Not only are you giving them like the bonuses, of having skins that are only available to them, so the playing field is no longer level at all. That's a big to that, and it just doesn't seem right. And then they throw in the people that are migrating. Are they talking about the people that are like under level 6? You know,
Yeah.
settlement level 7 or something like that are trying to like, oh wait,
Or
I'm
the
sort
ones that
of.
are, it could be the inactive ones. Remember, they have that
Oh yeah.
inactive group right now. Oh, and Eric B did remind me. He says surprise crate isn't like the Lucky Lotto, but kind of like Rays with how they set it up in the bundles. Yeah, you got like the Chief Gear or the other thing. Basically, you just keep on collecting tickets and opening it, but then it like scales and it's just yeah. I can only get the one that I can get for like 1,000 bios each day, and that's that's like that's like my ticket to open it. But yes, it is a really good value to get like the Chief Gear stuff. Sorry, I just kind of interrupted that, but I did want to address what Eric B was saying. So thank you, Eric B. I know I was describing more the Lucky Lotto, but yeah, surprise crate is actually really cool. All right, sorry, delete.
No, no, that was it. That was it. I mean, it's just the separation death knell is finally there. Because now in updates they're basically just saying in updates that yeah, we're just gonna give the new states more stuff. That's just the way it is.
I don't understand why they are perpetuating this like multiple versions of the game concept. I just don't. Like this has to be additional maintenance on them too to maintain this kind of like difference in the gameplay. Not only that, when you do something like a beta or like a PTR, right? In order to kind of test things out, you are typically, if I remember correctly, testing things on a server similar to State 1. I think they duplicate State 1
Yeah.
usually.
Last time I did a PTR, it did not have like centers or anything like that.
Yeah. So like you're not even testing it in the correct environment for like newer states because you have so many different versions of the game. I I don't understand why it is in their interest to like keep so many versions of this. Like find a way to merge all of them. There are ways to like move 125 at least closer to the way at least 359 is, let alone what the newer states have. It also makes it difficult for people to create content and promote your game when the game is not consistent for all players. Like
Right.
I mentioned, I'm going to work on some videos, but one of the biggest problems is I'm going to make the videos from the perspective of 359. If I don't make a newer account, I don't know for sure whether or not it matches with one of the 700 states. So
Yeah.
they do themselves a disservice in terms of being able to promote the game, kind of the word of mouth, being able to play with other players and all that. It's so difficult to kind of keep this up, not only for the player side but their side. So I hope they come up with an idea. Forget about like the state merging. That is something that's definitely needed in order to, or the state migration, right, to keep the older players active. But they need a way to like make all the states kind of the same, so they don't have to keep on like segregating it over and over again. It just seems like
Yeah.
such a wasted effort.
I mean, I would imagine that that's got to be the next thing that they work on.
I hope so.
Financially, for their company, it just makes sense for them to try and figure out a neutral ground. Whether they keep centers, keep towers, keep, you know, keep territory, delete territory, like they've got to work towards a equal footing
Yeah.
because it just doesn't make that much sense for them to just kind of keep everything going. And then they just, like they hired a bunch of content creators to go ahead and like start bases, to do stuff. And now all those content creators that have just kind of spent time doing stuff, and at this point, some of them probably aren't even in the newer states.
Yeah.
So now they're not even getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's strange because they're not saying that this is replacing the original skins that we got the opportunity to get. Where it was like, oh, if you hit these milestones, you get this skin for, resource production or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even saying it's replacing that, so they're just getting an added one, just because.
Yeah. So
So
that's the first thing that kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit. But again, I kind of understand it. This is just the way they're going. I don't necessarily think it's the best way to go about it, but I understand kind of their concept, which is that those other states are fine. They've already established themselves. Let's focus on the newer states. Not a good mindset for me personally, but I can at least say they're consistent with that. as much in disagreement with it as I am. But then we have the gameplay changes. And the first thing, which we'll talk about afterwards, I'll just mention it because this will probably be a little bit of a larger discussion, is they added the supply convoy that we talked about last week. So we'll talk about the supply convoy. And the other thing, they optimized the tutorials and the loyalty system of the enlistment office. So hopefully that just means everything you get a little bit faster. Hopefully you generate enlistment things a little bit faster. And then
That's so slow. It is so slow. Enlistment is so slow, and there's no hope that you can't do anything about it.
You can speed it up, right? You can buy the badges.
Yeah, but it is probably the most expensive thing in the game.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a ridiculous. I remember like the bio price for it is really dumb, but
it's astronomical.
It's there. Yeah. But then here's something, and it's possibly because we mentioned the fact that they like changed times on people without letting them know, but they said it now. They changed the start time of the electric blasts in Capital Clash and the entrance time of State Warfare to 8:45 UTC. So still at kind of an early time, but it looks like they changed it a little bit for whatever reason it is, and at least they're telling us that's a step in the right direction from the last time when they kind of just changed the times of Clash. So, I mean, I don't know the reason for the change of the time. Hopefully they give a little more insight as to why they changed the time a little bit there, but everything, I mean, that's fine. Yeah. Aerith is saying it's 15 minutes PvP burning prior to the start of SVS. Yeah. So you can start the blast and everything a little bit early. I don't know why in particular they did it though. I guess you can burn bases before the start.
Yeah, you get the hour. You used to get an hour to kind of go over there and start carving out spaces or whatever, or just burn. Period.
Yeah, just.
Okay. But I mean, it's so early in the morning that people didn't really do it.
Yeah.
You know, for so many people, no one's like, yeah, let me go ahead and wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, Eric's saying they said to stop the intense PvP fighting prior to the start. I kind of thought that was like part of the strategy though. Try to burn out troops and stuff from whoever you can beforehand and try to gain the advantage before the start. Like, this is kind of a war game. I'm just throwing that out there. If someone is willing to wake up that early, then yeah, give them the benefit of being able to zero. Yeah, I was saying people are getting zero before the event started. Yeah, but I don't really see a reason why that's a bad thing though. If people want to play the game and do that, then they should, be able to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be willing to kind of hold a spot at Capital, because I mean, I guess someone could hit your hive, but then you could just bubble. You just can't bubble at Capital.
Yeah.
So,
or you can still bubble at Capital, just not within that first little range.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of like, but I mean, it's like you're almost not at Capital if you're not in that area.
Yeah, so it's a long march to get anywhere if you're outside of
it's just like, it's so ineffective. But I mean, it's still possible. If you're strong enough, it's really not that bad. Then you're just spending usually caps, or if you're buying the Bido bundle, you're spending those beat ups to kind of get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. In the older states, PvP isn't really that big of a thing, because everyone has a ton of troops. So it's tough to burn someone, even as an 8-star, it's tough to burn someone that's like over a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, it's just, they're going to have 3 million troops because they've been playing the game for that long.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in a state that doesn't really like fight, or is aggressive at all, because then it's just every troop that they've ever had is still there.
And until you fill their hospital, you're actually the one taking losses for a while. So
yeah.
So it's still like, that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like a war strategy trade-off to be like able to do that. I guess people can't control themselves. Like if it's open an hour earlier, there's going to be people an hour earlier. Then they complain that they have to be on an hour earlier. So now it's like, yeah, you only have to be on 15 minutes earlier. I mean,
yeah.
This one
anything,
in
they should have
particular, I don't
changed.
see an issue.
They should have changed the overall start time as opposed to
Yes.
pushing up the end time.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's just something that's just,
Or do both.
you know, I guess.
Make it a little
Yeah.
shorter and change the start time. And then have
Right.
the start times rotated in like the same times that you get for Fortress. Like,
Right.
yeah.
I don't get why Capital doesn't shift time at all.
I don't
Almost
either.
everything else in this game shifts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Trap is 47 hours. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I would go even further than that. Eric B is saying most older states have become passive when it comes to burning in state. Yeah, I think I agree. I've definitely seen that. And part of that is honestly with like SPS, the whole concept is that you bring your state together, right? So a lot of states are not as much into burning within their own state during like just free time. So then they just go around and burn everyone else during actual like SVS, and they go into the other state and just burn for a while. So I think that is a good thing. Hold on. I see him. Hold on. We have a very special guest. We have a special
I hear
guest.
some cooing going on.
Mm-hmm. It is Little Mako. Look at that. Look at Little Mako. It is Little Mako. How are you doing, Mako?
Oh, I love it. Mako, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you guys?
Another day, buddy. Another day.
Oh my god, it's so adorable. He's just like
I caught a little bit of the stream before I got logged in. For your enlistment, you can speed that up by doing your daily tasks.
Well, that's
the more you complete, the faster it fills for the day. And then also I think it's the more you have in your hospital, the faster it fills. So as you heal your hospital, the slower it goes anyways. So
okay.
Wait, did you say that backwards? If you have less people in your hospital, enlistment goes fast.
Is it?
I thought that's what it was. Like if you have a lot of people in your hospital, then your enlistment is slow.
Oh, it might be. I haven't had anybody in my enlistment in probably about 7 months. So.
Oh, well, let's hope that doesn't change anytime soon.
Right.
Oh, enlistment sucks.
Yeah, that is
the
Baby
worst.
Mako, Eric. Baby Mako is adorable. He
1 week away from 7 months.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He still
Feels like I
wants to
wasn't
see
really
us.
there that long ago.
He's like turning around.
He's like, there's somebody talking. I can hear him.
Mm-hmm. That's us, Baby Mako. We're all saying hi to you. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. The only thing I don't miss about that, well, the main thing is I'm like out of diapers and all that, carrying wipes and extra clothing and bags, strollers and all that. I'm out of that. That's pretty cool, but man, I do miss being able to just kind of be like, hey, why don't you hang out on the floor here? I'm going to go ahead and just game for a little bit. Like 3 hours.
Right. Yeah, we're into this stage right now where he just grabs the beard and yanks.
Yeah.
Do you want one, little Baby Mako? Is that your goal?
Oh yeah. Here, see if you can see. We've got the start of a mullet back there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Party in the back.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I think he's gonna look adorable with the mullet. Just throwing that. Maybe the only person to be able to really pull it off. All right. So we were going through the patch notes, Mako, with the recent one. So we talked about already the new Finding Maddie stuff, the surprise crates, which were pretty good. There's a new event, the Kindle, the Light of the Survivors, which is only available to the new states, which is kind of, not the best thing that they did. We talked about the enlistment. We were just in the middle of the conversation about the Capital Clash and them making it so that it starts at 8:45 instead of the 8 before, where there was kind of like the hour of just PvP. Now it's down to 15 minutes. And we were basically saying, yeah, they should just change the start time entirely rather than just kind of like reducing the PvP time earlier or just bringing in the end time. Just change the start time, put it on a rotation that's similar to like Fortress, where you kind of get pick between like I think it's like 3, 9, 13, 14, 8, 19 or something like that, and just have them rotate between that. But yeah, what
it's
are your
odd
thoughts?
that they would change it because the PvP is a big money maker for the game.
Yeah,
it really is. It's bizarre that they would change it.
Yeah.
For that reason, anyway. There has to be something else.
What do you think, Mako? Before we jump into the big topic.
I mean, you have to look at your activity level. I mean, when this game first started and Capital first came out, we had 24-hour Capitals, and it was you were on for the whole 24 hours, or you lost Capital.
Yeah.
And then it went to 12 hours, and now it's at 8 hours. And you got to look at, I mean, unless you're super dedicated, you're looking at half the world only playing for about 4 hours of Capital.
Yeah.
So you're losing all that money from your big spenders that don't make that time zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and to just like leave it there every single time is a problem. Like Eric is saying 14 UCT is a decent start time. It's a decent start time for those in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, right? We have like this game more so than I think any other like game I've truly played incorporates all different time zones kind of at the same time. And like, so for example, the other game I play that's very international is like Clash of Clans. But Clash of Clans, you end up doing things at your own like time zone of your clan, because nothing is synchronous. Everything is asynchronous. So there's no like you can play somebody from Thailand, but everything happens with like 24 hours. So the Thai person can attack at like 3 a.m. your time. It doesn't impact the fact that you're gonna attack at 8 a.m. your time. Versus with this, it is actually a synchronous battle that legitimately makes some players not able to play and some play. So rotation kind of has to be in the cards. Otherwise, this is, I mean, yeah, Pacific is the worst. It's a 2 a.m. start time. Like that's basically why Furry ended up quitting. Right? There's a state drama and all of that stuff, but she was already sick of having to wake up at like 2 a.m. every day or every like capital in order to play. And being one of the higher bases, like she was kind of expected to be there. So there's the additional pressure that you can't just say no. So it just doesn't make sense that they haven't gone to the point. And Mako, you make a fair point. They have improved it, right? They've improved it. They went from 24, 12, 8. So they're updating it. Hopefully, one of the next changes is that they're just making it so that the start time of Clash is going to be on a rotation. And it's not just the same time every single time. It is on a rotation. So we can see and hope. That's all I can say. We can see and hope.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't been able to play Capital in forever. Literally forever. I don't even think I've launched a rally at Capital I didn't do it for SVS. I didn't have time. I didn't do it for the last Capital that just passed. So it's at least 3. It's at least 3 Capital Clash events that I haven't even launched one rally.
Yeah.
Which is it's just crazy. But I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, like I get on and it's like, it's already decided, and the people that are holding towers are people that we can't hit, because we're crushing the other side or something along those lines, or there's not enough people on because there's like, we already have 2 towers and there's not enough people to kind of go ahead and launch a third rally. So it's like, wow. All right. Well, I'll just base it, I guess, for a little while. And I haven't even been able to do that. So, it's just been wild. without any movement there, there's just not going to be much for a while. Maybe in the winter. Probably in the winter it would be easier for me to play.
Yeah.
So I'll have less going on.
Mm-hmm.
But taking your summers off in the games, it's kind of lame.
Yeah. Ultimately this is a game. It's not a job. So everyone's going to have to prioritize real life first. And we all want to play this game as much as we can, but obviously jobs, family, just whatever else always comes first. So this game is not very accommodating to that, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of things in this game that are not accommodating for that, including, although they've done a better job, like the digs with the Miko event are not very forgiving, that the fact that you have to log in every 3 hours in order to do your digs. So just little things where I wish there was more consideration for this being a game, and then not so strenuous in what you have to do. But moving on to the big thing that we talked about last week that they introduced into the game. It is the supply convoy. Now, the supply convoy is... We'll go a little bit into this. So the supply convoy was kind of the developer's response to people asking for the ability to trade. It is done in a very specific way. So I'll go to mine. So if you guys now go to your market stall, there is now this little truck icon for the supply convoy. You can click on the supply convoy, and what you get is each day you get the ability to request resources of each of the different types, and you can do all of them. So I'm going to collect these because I requested those all earlier. And you request a particular type. So you guys saw the numbers. It was 7 millions and then 600 something, and it's about half of a full node, roughly, is how much you're able to request on a 22-hour cooldown. And once you click on that, it goes into this give resources for everybody else in your alliance, and then you can go ahead and donate. And you get your bonus alliance tokens for each donation you make. I'll start with Mako since he just joined. Mako, what are your thoughts on the supply convoy as they have it right now?
It's all right. I mean, there's no limit for giving. I filled, we had somebody join with his alt account just to fill it back up with resources and requested. And I filled all 7 million of his food. So I like that there's no limit to giving, because if you're sitting on a bunch of resources and you want to get rid of some, this is going to be the only way. And at least in our state, because if I wanted to have somebody take my resources, they're going to have to fight through 1.6 million troops, because I can't get all my troops out of my base for them to hit me. So it's a nice way to get rid of it. If you're going to get, if everybody requests 7,000 one day and one person does that for everybody, you could really deplete your resources real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dilly.
You can definitely get burned through a lot, and if you wanted to help someone out that just got destroyed, you could definitely do it. I wish it was done in a better way. I feel like even though this is simple, I feel like it could have been better, because the way it's going to work out is a lot of people are going to request, and just as much as they request, they're going to give. So you're not really going anywhere, I think that's kind of going to be the way that it is. I gave Jerry in our alliance 125. I just filled them all up. I was like, I don't know what he needs them for. He's farming, and he's bought enough packs where he's got it. So, it's just and the alliance coins. I don't even know. I haven't turned into our alliance store in forever. What am I going to buy? More advanced relocators? I guess I could, but.
So to me, that's actually really the best benefit. And it's a little difficult for where you are, Delete, I think, compared to others, but there are not a whole lot of ways to accumulate the alliance tokens, right? We talked about this the other day. There's only a few ways you can get it. You get it from your donations into the sustainability, right? You do it from the timer helps. You can do it by doing the building, which is why I do like the Wall of Fin, so you guys have that building opportunity. But they're all capped. There's only, or except the sustainability one. But like the timers is capped at 2,000. The building is capped at 2,000. You can only do so much. So this is actually one of the few ways you can actually get alliance tokens, which to me is a really nice benefit. It also is something that I think everyone needs to realize. So everybody, regardless whether or not you need the resources, needs to hit that request resources, because that is what you need. So like you need to request it so that other people are able to get it, right? And you can get your 2,000. But like right now, you guys are seeing it like my alliance doesn't have anything to give. And that's just because people haven't requested it. Because I know some people, and I know this for sure, some people have looked at this like, I don't need resources, so I'm not going to bother requesting it. I'll just fill other people's. But it's one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's not the point.
Exactly. It's just like creating a rally at trap, right? Even if you're just somebody like, if you're like a HQ 29 and you're in a bunch of plasmas, you still set the rally because it's just free points and other people can attack and you just get that little bit of extra damage and you just need to fill those up. Like that's the whole general kind of idea. So everyone needs to be aware that you should request the resources like every time it's up, because it helps your alliance to be able to get those alliance coins, which to me is the most important part of this. It's not even the resources. The resources are nice. Yeah. They can kind of help somebody, but they are just about like half of a resource 8 node.
Yeah.
So they're not like a huge benefit.
It's
like 2 hours of
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. I mean, if you're focusing on this for the resources, I think you're missing the greatest value, which is the alliance token. But if you're at a point like delete where maybe you don't need the alliance tokens, then there's really like no value to it. So now it really is just click on the request and help out your alliance mate so they can get the alliance tokens. So I mean, so what I started off by saying is that while I like this for the perspective of getting alliance tokens, kind of providing a different way, right? I don't think this solved kind of the underlying thing that I remember, at least you, Delete, and McVenom, when she was here kind of early on, what you guys were truly hoping for with the trading of the marketplace. So, I mean, you can talk a little bit more. I mean, what you would want to see, if maybe, let's say this is like a first step, what would you want to see in the next step to truly get what you wanted for in the marketplace, which we kind of theory crafted before, was like much more of a true trading. And this isn't. This is more kind of systemic kind of donations in order to help out type of thing.
Yeah. I thought it would just be cool to kind of get rid of, like if someone has an excess of something, like I have an excess of like maps, or chief gear or, hero gear or anything along those lines. It would have made more sense if someone could kind of give their excess stuff in their backpack, not just reserves. I mean, reserves is great, but it's not the end all be all, because you only really need reserves when you don't farm, and farming's really not that hard, because I literally only send out my people to farm when I'm asleep. That's it. I do the 8 hours that I'm asleep, and that's kind of it. And if sometimes I'll do it in the morning if I'm on, and I'll go ahead and send another crew out, or something like that. But it's really not that hard to kind of get reserves at all, but like all the stuff, because I was like, the stuff that's in the backpack is all stuff that people can use tremendously. Like at one point I had 15,000 plasma. Like if I could have traded that for, I don't know, blank gold frags, for instance. Like, hey, I don't really need that plasma, but I could use gold frags for when new heroes come out. So this way, as I'm a rally leader and I'm already maxed out, I don't need the excess, even though that was before the new building came out and purification, all the new plasma and all that other stuff, which is just going to take a tremendous amount of time. But luckily, everyone in 125 is kind of basically slowed down to a crawl when it comes to maxing out. Like no one's really pushing it. No one's really pushing the limit anymore. Like so nothing needs to be done. Our multimillionaire just basically stopped playing. So everyone's kind of on the even keel again of just kind of growing at a glacier pace, to say the least. So
Yeah.
but I wanted something like that. I really did want something, a place to trade whatever you wanted into the game. And monetarily, I don't know if it would have hurt the company because you can only trade when there was something that was a value, and they definitely have a value calculator because in all the packs you buy, there are values incorporated to that, so they know how much each piece is, available. You couldn't trade, like 4,000 pieces of hero gear for 600 in gas. It would have to be something that was literally of equal value. So I thought that would have been a lot cooler than just like, here you go, here's reserves.
Yeah.
But the Alliance coins is big because, in your state, advanced relocators are really hard to come by and they're expensive.
It's not just
125.
advanced relocators. I mean, so the things I end up buying, advanced relocators are definitely one of them. There's also the VIP points every time they show up. So those are also being purchased. And then the other thing is, you guys saw it when I was trying to burn through all the plasma, speed ups eventually you run out of. So I do buy the speed ups as well, particularly the construction and the research, so that I can just cash them in whenever I'm ready to kind of do that push. So both of those I think are equally, or all three of those I think are equally important. Not to mention some of the other thing, March recalls. I can never have too many of those. The talent resets, collecting those. So there's a lot in our, because I know our store runs differently than you guys, because I think you guys set the stuff in your store versus in 359, it's just random each day. So I just need to make sure I have a collection of points, because there are some days where there's like 3 or 4 different like VIP things that I need to purchase, and there's the construction. So it's just like, okay, I have to buy this. Oh, I just burned through 200,000 alliance points. I'm down to like 50,000. So I need to, get some more. So those 2,000 a day start to accumulate. So it is kind of like big to be able to do that. So I like it for that reason, but yeah, I don't think it fits what we were hoping for in terms of being able to kind of donate stuff to another alliance mate. But overall, I don't think this is bad. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's not finished. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. It's helpful. Like I said, it's helpful. If you want to like go ahead and boost someone up that just got destroyed or leveled, or is someone that's so close to leveling and they're just like, I'm 3 days of farming, to kind of get there, or everyone kind of donating, something like that, then that makes sense, Yeah. And it makes sense.
Eric B is like, I got 213 advanced relocators, mostly for the market stall. I just can't get myself to spend 30 million food on an advanced relocator. I buy a bunch of other stuff. I just can't do it for 30 million. I just can't. I'm like, this is such a bad value, but I mean, yeah. I can't.
I would spend
30 million is.
You spend how much, Mako?
I'd spend before the last SPS, I would have spent 100 million food or wood for a relocator because I had like 2 billion, and I was like, somebody's gonna freaking hit me, and I'm gonna lose it all. I was like shelling it out. I was like, okay, relocator, freaking, I'll just spend 100,000 food for 2,000 gas. Let's go.
Mako just making it rain tomatoes on everyone.
Mako's just playing Brewster's Millions in the market stall. I love it. Spending spree, supermarket spree in the market stall. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that I have in my backpack that I just can't use, and it's just there. It's literally, it's just, Daedric used to talk about it all the time. How it's just, you can count the value of the amount of stuff in my backpack is a lot of money. it's a significant amount of money that just goes absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. What happened, Mako?
The real Mako is barking in my face.
Oh. So there's Mako, the person on screen. There's dog Mako, and then there's baby Mako. It's just
That's the real Mako.
yeah.
Oh,
That's the real
yeah.
Mako.
He's being a needy diva right now.
Wants to go outside.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mom's
Dude.
away for the night, so I got a zoo running her.
Oh, man. Ladies' night.
Side note, now that you mentioned that, I have started to I am late to the party, I admit it, but I started watching Tiger King. Mm-hmm.
That is
And
the
I will say-
most Florida show in the world.
oh yeah. Remember how I took credit for like all the issues Florida Man related? So I will say that show started off with Joe Exotic talking about how like he went to Lion Country Safari and was like inspired by it. I have gone to Lion Country Safari so many times. I love that place. I have been to Lion Country Safari because it is about 20 minutes away from my childhood home. I even took Karma to Lion Country Safari when we went there last time. It is a fantastic place if you guys haven't been there. But I like to think that my patronage kept it going and developed Joe Exotic. So once again, I see 90% of things can be traced back to Finn, and that's why I blame Finn as this thing for a reason. And yeah, I apologize for Florida Man everything.
That is just a crazy show.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good though. But the amount of like randomness that happens in that show is just astronomical.
Oh yeah, so Eric's saying I've never watched Tiger King. Do you mind if I talk a little bit? It's an old one, but since you haven't watched it, I want to make sure I don't spoil anything for you if you are going to watch it. So I will say something, Eric, as long as you don't mind me kind of spoiling something. But I've only seen like an episode and a half. So I'm still very early in whatever. I think there's only like 8 episodes or something. But so it's a small little series. Hey, it is technically spoilers. It's just very old spoilers because it's been out for a while. Carol Baskins is an awful person. That's all. It's just all I can say. I'm just watching this, and I understand Carol Baskins is trying to do things from like a good perspective, and there's more to it. I'm aware, but just in the first episode alone, she is just this like awful person. Just straight up. Just throwing that out there.
It comes across as that in the show, and then you do your I like to.
Oh,
I
sure.
like to
If you
throw
go
the
from
word
her side of
research.
it, yeah.
I like to throw the word research around, which is really just internet searching. That's not research. Research is testing done in a small environment that is definitely something that you can really narrow down. That's research. This is just looking stuff up, and her facility isn't really great. So
No, I mean, she's like standing in front of a cage half the time talking about how the animals shouldn't be caged. I'm like, you realize where you are in your own facility while you're recording this, right? Like, I'm just making sure you understand. You're not out you're not in a like random jungle with a tiger off in the distance. No, you are behind a cage, a fence, while a tiger is on the other side talking about how tigers should not be in cage. Just throwing that throwing that out there. I mean, it's just the throw. Durgan.
It's just madness.
Oh
it's
God.
just pure madness.
It is. I am excited to watch the rest of it.
Then they go and it's like, yeah, hey, they meet. So it's not a spoiler, but they meet like one of the guys that was like basically Tony Montana was kind of based off of. It's just like, wait, what? I'm like, this guy's an animal lover too. I'm like, this show, where is this show going?
Oh my God. So before we get into that, there's also Durgan's in chat. Hello, Durgan. Durgan says, why does Infinity have his baby on the stream too? I don't have a baby, Durgan. Just awful. You're awful. Durgan has been perpetuating this thing that I have a baby. Just I don't. I will have 0 babies in 9 months. Anytime between now and 9 months from now, I can guarantee 0 babies. I'm just telling you that right now, Durgan. Just throwing that out there. Saying the inventor of Baskin Robbins is a saint. Hush you. That is not. That is not. Eric B says, just imagine Joe Dirt as a zookeeper and not a gearhead. I mean,
it's basically where it's at.
It is.
That's exactly where it's at.
Okay, so I got so confused. I got so legitimately confused. So, at the during the first episode, they talked about 3 major kind of tiger sanctuaries, right? So I think there was the one in Atlanta that was Carol Baskin's. There was the one in Oklahoma that was Joe Exotic, and there was another one in South Carolina with some dude, and I don't remember his name. But that interview with him made it sound like he was legitimately making love to the animals. I got so confused because he kept on saying things like people were like, no, you should not be in love with animals. And I'm like, yeah, well, I love the animals and they love me too. So we'll just do whatever happens naturally. I'm like, wait, is this really what, like, it? And he, like, talks about how he's, like, one of the most, like, hated people and all this, but he still has this. I got so confused. That is in South Carolina. I cannot take credit for that one.
There's a lot of lovemaking going on in that South Carolina one. A lot of lovemaking. That
one is really weird. That whole interview was so creepy. I'm like listening to that. I'm like, is this really happening right now? Like, is this guy truly trying to justify his love for tigers in this way? Oh my god, Tiger King is so weird. I know I'm late to the party, but yes, it is. It has been
so
fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to finish that. But yes, sorry, complete tangent. That's the way I particularly run things here. It is just tangents everywhere. It's just yeah. Sorry, little Mako. I know that was not appropriate conversation for your ear. Hopefully, this is not your first memory. Just he remembers Daddy's beard. I can see him scratching it like slowly. Like,
oh yeah. Every once in a while, you just see me do this quick because it hurts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But he's giving it that little baby finger scratch right now.
Mm-hmm. Because everything they do it with their all. It's like full pressure. Mm-hmm. Whole body used to grab.
Mm-hmm. But right now, he's just gently patting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For now.
It just goes to show you that mom's gone and we're 45 minutes past bedtime, so.
Oh. I won't tell.
Yep. We have no video recording of this ever happening, so it's fine.
No. This is 8 o'clock Central Time. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is, we go on Central Time here. So we'll get. But I think we've actually, honestly, we've actually covered, I think, everything with the game so far. So the main thing was kind of the update. There's the new events that are out. They've changed kind of the timing of the capital, so be ready for that. There is the new resources, trade convoy, supply convoy that is available. Again, you go to your market stall or your trading post, and then next to the VIP store in the market stall, there is a new one, your supply convoy. You click on that. Eric was saying he was a 19-hour cooldown. Every time I clicked on mine, it was a 22-hour cooldown. So I don't know if you guys if you're able to check. Maybe there's something that reduces the cooldown in terms of a talent point or research or something. But mine was 22 hours for sure. All of them were 22 hours. So, yeah.
Maybe it takes the countdown from when you requested. So if you have a different request time, it takes different time. So like if he requested it 3 hours before you did, his would be at 19 and yours is at 22 still.
Yeah, but that would be such an odd time because 14 hours from now would be, what, like 16 UTC? It's not even. It's after 16 UTC because there's like minutes on top of it.
Yeah, I'm at 22 hours,
You have 22 hours with your reset?
but I'm in war talents. I
I
should
mean,
have
I'm
switched
econ.
halfway.
I'm an econ, but I don't have
Oh,
anything for the trade
so it
caravan,
doesn't
I don't
change.
think. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it's 22 hours is the cooldown on the supply convoy for each of them, and you click on each of them. You allow everyone to donate resources, and then you go to give resources, and you find people to donate to. That's pretty much it. Highly recommend that you guys try to get your 2,000 a day. Help your alliance get the 2,000 a day. Once you get your 2,000, I would just hold off. As much as you want to help, the alliance tokens are the most important part of that, not the resources. So
I just actually requested, and I wonder how many notes I'm going to get. Like, really? D needs resources.
if they say that, just say, "Did you not watch our live stream? I was on the live stream and we talked about it. Why are you asking me such a question?"
Oh, it's funny. I did notice a visual change too in like the battle reports where it's like trading cards for each
Yeah,
hero.
yeah, I can show you guys that too.
You know, it's not like just the three faces or whatever.
Yeah, it actually shows you like a little. It shows you kind of the character portrait of it now.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Out of all the things to change, not the percentage for the marches. No. Why would they change that? Why would they give us something we could use?
Eric is asking, what's the point of the trade convoy research then? So what it does is it allows you to request more with each request. So like mine was like 7 million something. I don't know what yours was, delete. Mine was like 7 million something for the food and the wood. It was roughly, I want to say about like 55-ish% of a resource 8 node. But that's with the actual like almost like I didn't have the last one done. So if you go to the supply convoy, it increases the load. Oh no, they changed it. They changed it
in
on
the
us.
talents?
Yeah, the talents now, or the research, not the talents. The research now increases the number of alliance tokens you get.
Oh, wow.
They changed it from last week when we looked at it. So when you max it, you actually get 12 bonus. So I have like 72 per because of all the bonuses, but it increases your total. So that is, so there you go. Thank you, Eric. I didn't look at it again since last week when we saw it. And when we saw it last week, it was supposed to increase the load. But here you go. So each one has like 4 additional. So once I get this one, I'll get 4 additional. Looks like this one will also give me an additional 4. So a total of 12 on this one. And then this one probably also. Bonus of 12. Yeah, so that's what it is. So ultimately, you can get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then times 12. So 60 additional alliance tokens for getting all of the research done. I currently have, what do I have? I have 1, 2, so 24, and then 8. So I have 32, and I believe mine right now is 72. Yeah, mine is 72, which means the base is 40. So you start off with like 40 that you can get, and then you research to increase. And you can get up to 60 additional, which means you can get up to 100 tokens with each request that you fulfill. So that's the benefit of the research then. Yeah, so they changed that. Neat.
That makes it a little easier to get your 2,000 because if you're doing the math at 40, not everybody's getting their 2,000 with as little as you can request.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric said he's at 88. Yep. So you have farther research than I do for sure then in that, but that's what it is. So the difference, so that's the purpose of the research and definitely worthwhile then to do it. See, we learn things all the time. They changed it from last week. That is good to know.
Okay. Interesting. Seems like a lot to change for it, but hey.
I mean, it's for the better. I would much rather them increase the alliance tokens rather than just increasing the amount that you can, like, request with the load. Either however much you donate or however much you can request from other people. This is much more valuable than that. So I think it's a really solid change that they made from last week.
Agreed.
But yeah, there you go. So that is another episode of the Bunker Underground in the books. We are going to go ahead and sign off here. 'Cause I think we covered everything. There's going to be Capital Clash in a couple days. So everyone, good luck in your state Capital Clash. And hope all goes well. And I guess delete any last words?
No. Watch Tiger King. It's worth it. It's worth it. Just if you really just want to have something that's so far from anything else you've ever seen.
Yeah, it has been.
And ever wondered where all that meat goes that people return at Walmart? Now you know.
I still can't believe the woman that lost her hand.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 of her arm.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They show
the
it.
whole story is weird. So
They show it.
Oh, I know. I saw it. So if you guys are not familiar with what I'm talking about, one of the people working on Joe Exotic's like zoo sticks her hand in the fence, and a tiger basically like nearly rips it off completely. And so he like closes down the zoo and offers like a refund and everything. There's a little thing, and he's like obviously putting a tourniquet on the employee's like arm and everything. And he's obviously getting bad publicity. Like they're showing like an interview with like him with CNN with like Jake Tapper, where they're like asking about like the dangers and everything. This is like legit stuff that happened. And yeah, he was giving a refund to all the other people. This was an employee that hurt her hand. But they basically say like his zoo was like a cult. Because they all like care about these like tigers so much. This woman is more concerned about the fact that she's going to be exploited by people that want to close the zoo, and she wants to keep it open, that her focus is to get back to work and not be a distraction. So she is in the hospital, and the doctor tells her that you have two options. One, we can do reconstructive surgery, and it may take a couple of years of physical therapy and everything for you to get full feeling in your arm back. Or two, you can just have it amputated. And the woman, like, my first thing is, hell, I don't want to live without my arm. Like, I will spend 2 years to work on my arm. And I believe she's right-handed, and it was her left arm. So I'm like, okay, I can still work with my other hand in the meantime. Like, I'll write and I'll do whatever with my right hand, and my left hand, I'll just work and train it up again. So I have both hands. No, she amputates her arm. Yeah, she just like, take it. She amputates her arm, and within 1 week of having her arm basically torn off by a tiger, she is back at the zoo working, taking interviews about how she loves the place. It is the most ridiculous thing ever. Just straight up. And they basically say like his employees have basically kind of created like this little cult where they just follow around Joe Exotic because he has that personality, which honestly he kind of does. He has a very like, he exudes kind of just a charisma kind of personality. He's a fun guy, crazy, but fun. And if you are in love with tigers as much as they are, it's like, yeah, I want to keep this, I just want to keep this going. So that's the part that was like the last thing I've seen so far. If the woman came back, she has like a nub that you can literally see like pulsating underneath the skin because the muscles are still there, and she's still like, you know, you have like that phantom limb syndrome where you kind of like feel like the arm is there. So it looks like she's still like moving things around. But it's like, really? You amputated your arm instead of 2 years of reconstructive surgery because you wanted to make sure that you could keep the tigers at the zoo. Like, oh my god. And then they show her like with the net, like catching things with like one hand and the nub, like using the nub on one part and like it's like, oh my god. I couldn't. It was just one of those things. Just
yeah. I mean, ridiculous. They all talk. I mean, it's like the Bronx too probably has like 2 tigers. You know, like this is like a a nationally funded, and like people donate to it and all this other stuff, and they have like two. At Joe Exotic's place, they had like 100, you know, and they were just like, "Where else do you get to play with tigers? Where else do you see this? Where else do you see like lions all over the place? You don't. It's like, and the people that are doing aren't like veterinarians. They're not like hardcore went to school just to learn how to. They're like people that are just like, this is cool. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, watch this. Watch it just destroy this chicken wing. You know, it's like, wow, man. So in their eyes, they're like, this is the best job in the world. I'll do anything to not lose this.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. It is. Yeah. If you've got time, check it out.
Yeah.
It's
I plan on finishing it here soon. I do plan on finishing it soon. Any last words from Mako?
I don't think so.
How about little Mako?
Little Mako's fixing a present for me, so.
Nice. Oh yeah.
He's over here just grunting away, so.
Is that right, little Mako? Is that what you're doing?
Present time. Right before bed too. You sleep good.
Yeah, I'll
sleep good after that.
All right. So I think with that, we will go ahead and sign off. So, of course, thank you to Mako and Delete for always joining as we're here. Yep. It's a very lovely brownie that is being made by little Mako. All right. But with that, I am Finn with Reality Skewed Gamers for Mako and Delete. Thank you guys for joining for another episode of the Bunker Underground. We will see you next week once again for another episode going through the news and notes of State of Survival. And with that, we are signing out. Take care, guys.